Hi, welcome to the Interaxis channel and Interaxis.io. We're going to continue to step through and talk about the mortgage in Web3 and where it fits, or I guess where Web3, crypto, and DeFi fits within this idea of a mortgage. And of course, we've gone back and described how a traditional mortgage works. So in Web3, now we got to talk about Web3 and how it fits. And in this section, we're going to talk about the idea of the appraisal of the house. Because if we go back, remember, the bank is going to potentially loan me money for a home that is worth $500,000, but the bank has to verify that that home is worth $500,000. And why? Because this is the collateral on the loan. If I don't pay back the loan, then they get to take the home. But they want to make sure the home is worth $500,000. I can't just tell them it is, and I can't have my realtor say, I promise it's worth $500,000. So the bank has to have some sort of idea of an appraisal of the value of this home. Now, this is usually something where they send someone out to take a look, obviously, to look at information about homes in the area. They look at the neighborhood a little bit, but they kind of go, okay, here's what's happening in this neighborhood. Here's the value of these homes. And then they have to go look at this home that I'm trying to buy. And they're going to look at things like, is it kept up? Is the roof okay? Are the appliances okay? If everything is kind of old and worn down, then the value might be a little lower. If everything is brand new and the family has just put a whole bunch of money into it, the value might be higher. You look at things like a pool. So the question is, at some point, what happens with that appraisal? Well, now that appraisal, much of it could be done with some on-chain data. Right, so you could have on-chain data like other home values in the area, and of course in realtor speak, those are called comps. So you could, comps to comparables in the area. So that's data that could be on-chain. That doesn't require a person to go out there. You can look at things like the square footage of the home and of the whole lot that you have there. What is the square footage? How does that compare to other home values, right? Because you want a price per square foot. Then you have more of the subjective decisions, like, is the home in good shape? Well, that's where, yes, you could have someone go out there and take a look. But you could also, if at some point, and we'll get to this in another video, but if at some point much of the data on the home is on-chain, there's an NFT or something that represents the home, and we'll get to that in a little while, then any things like repairs, updates to the home, anything like that can be on-chain and therefore go to the price of the home. So then you go, all right, at what point do we actually need to go out there and take a look? And then, of course, we can get into something that is a really hot topic right now, like AI. Like you could take video or pictures or something of the home and get a pretty good idea of if things are new or really old or are falling apart. And therefore, that appraisal ends up being essentially, all this information ends up essentially being Oracle. Like you can use all of these as oracles to inform the appraisal of the home. And in this way, you don't necessarily have to have someone always go out there. The bank can verify, can appraise the home almost instantaneously by, again, connecting some sort of application on-chain and looking across all these different parameters and coming up with a value of the home relatively quickly. It may not be right away because they might go, look, we need new pictures, we need updated pictures, we need updated video or something like that. And once they get that, they can determine that they can have an appraisal relatively quickly using a lot of this technology that is out there or might be out there in the future. And that appraisal, all these become an oracle for the appraisal that is going to go into eventually the value of the home and determine whether or not the bank is going to give me a loan of $400,000, of course, based on a $500,000 home, because remember, the $500,000 is their collateral. So that's just a little bit about how the appraisal part of the home buying process might be solved or might be made more efficient using on-chain metrics, using Web3, using crypto rails. So thanks for watching this. We hope you'll subscribe, and we will see you in the next video talking about mortgages and Web3.